The sun was merciless that afternoon, beating down on the dry plains of New Mexico. Every breath felt heavy, the air shimmering above the desert floor. A young ranch hand named Luke tightened the strap of his saddle and wiped the sweat from his brow. He was a quiet soul, always keeping to himself, speaking more to his horse than to the other ranch hands. Folks often said he was shy to a fault, but what they didn't know was that Luke's silence came from a heart that carried more kindness than he could ever put into words. That day, while riding along the edge of a dry riverbed, Luke spotted movement among the rocks. At first, he thought it was a coyote, but then he saw her, an Apache girl, not much younger than him, struggling to stand. Her ankle was twisted, and the scorching sun had already left her lips cracked and dry. For a moment, Luke froze. The world he lived in had taught him to keep his distance, to mistrust. But as he looked at her, swaying with exhaustion, something deeper stirred inside him, something stronger than fear. He slid off his horse, his hands trembling, and offered her a canteen. She hesitated, her dark eyes cautious but steady. Then, slowly, she reached out and drank. It wasn't just water he gave her, it was trust, freely offered in a place where mistrust had always ruled. Hours passed as Luke tended her sprained ankle and gave her shade beneath his worn cowboy hat. He didn't speak much, he barely could, but his actions spoke louder than any words. The Apache girl, whose name he learned was Ayanna, watched him with quiet curiosity. No one had ever treated her with such patience, not out here where lines between people ran deep as canyon walls. Just as the sun began to dip low, they heard shouts in the distance. Ayanna's brother and a small group of her people had been searching for her. Luke braced himself, unsure how they'd see him, a stranger, a ranch hand, alone with their kin. But when they arrived and saw the water he'd given her, the careful way he'd wrapped her ankle with cloth torn from his own shirt, their anger softened. One of the men, her brother, looked Luke straight in the eye and nodded once, a silent gesture of respect. And in that moment, Luke realized something. Kindness was a language that needed no translation. It was stronger than pride, stronger than fear, stronger than the barriers history had built between them. Ayanna climbed onto her brother's horse, but before leaving, she met Luke's gaze once more. She didn't say a word, yet in her eyes was a promise that this act of compassion would never be forgotten. As Luke rode back under the crimson glow of the evening sky, he felt different. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just the shy ranch hand who kept to himself. He was a man who had chosen humanity over silence, and that choice had changed him forever.